That's what I
That
say.
wasn't
Eslam has
me.
ruined the Jurassic Park theme song for me for the rest of my life. Like Jazz's niece was
Why are they
playing
playing
it
the
at
graduation music?
yo. Jazz's niece was playing that shit at a little recital. She plays the fucking trombone, and and I'm over here just like cooking. All of a sudden, "Dun-dun-dun." I was like, oh shit, they're graduating. Yo, that shit is horrible.
I
Disco, have
remember
we ever
that.
played that to you?
It
I
was
feel like
in
you're out of the loop
fucking
on this one.
Comic Con.
It was at Comic
Horrible.
Con. It was like one of the years. It might have been the first year Jurassic World came out,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we were walking
Yes.
around Comic Con doing Comic Con stuff, and then they're promoting Jurassic World, and they're playing the theme song, and we're just walking around. Then Eslam comes out of nowhere. Why the fuck are they playing graduation music?
I had to do a double take. I
Like,
was
we
like,
just looked at. it, I was like, bro, that's the theme song to Jurassic Park.
Who's graduated? T-Rex.
Tell me that doesn't sound. Tell me that doesn't sound like the graduation song.
fucking
I
dinosaurs
could see the
graduating.
ballad nature of it being confused, but it's Jurassic Park, man.
Like, it's one of the most iconic theme songs in cinema history.
Every time I hear it now, I just think someone's graduating somewhere.
Have you? Oh, well, Rudy, I know you've seen it. Eslam, have you seen the? So Kind of Funny. They do like an in review where they review movies and stuff.
Yeah,
They did one
they
for
review
Jurassic
every
Park
movie,
and
yeah.
Jurassic World. Did you see that one?
No. I haven't listened to Kind of Funny in ages.
Because Nick is so fucking old, and this is the first time they watched it.
I'm not paying them anymore. They send me the invoices for these things, and I am the one that has to pay them.
Oh man, let me turn that off.
That's beautiful.
I think I actually did see that because sometimes they're clips, like they're
Yeah.
shorts on.
I might have
YouTube
even
and stuff come out.
retweeted it on Twitter. To be honest, like that's
That
one of the
shit was
funniest things
so
I ever
funny.
fucking saw. Because like they didn't know, and Nick is just always joked about being fucking old. So I was like, that's
Yeah.
perfect. That was the
That
perfect.
is
intro.
funny. What's up and welcome to the Los Wise Guys podcast. I am your host Eslam, aka Rod God of the Sun, accompanied by Dan, Papa Son Killer, Dan Emperor Disco, and special guest Rudy, the antagonist. How's it going, everybody?
It's
I'm
going
not
good.
gonna
It's going
Okay, I
good.
didn't know if we were all supposed to answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody.
I
at once.
usually just stay silent. Let Disco.
No,
speak.
let's go. Everybody at once. Just speak. All of you at once.
I feel like we should.
I mean, it's okay. I'm doing
Can you
pretty
count us down? That's not. Then we could all speak.
No, you don't need to speak.
Okay, so we're good.
Yeah, we're good. We're gonna move on. Thank you for joining us for another episode. Today's episode is about the PlayStation Showcase, if you want to call it that. That happened.
what it's called.
That's what happened yesterday. Was there enough PlayStation exclusives for it to be a PlayStation Showcase? Who
It
knows?
wasn't supposed to be.
It wasn't an
Well,
exclusive show.
That wasn't.
fine.
Yeah, that's not what their intention.
It's not like
was.
it'd be a select member to watch.
They
it.
specifically said it's
I'm-
gonna have third party
I
games.
know. I was just being sarcastic because
Uh-huh.
that's what the internet is upset about because they're retarded.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that joke didn't hit.
Oh no, we're not gonna let anything slide.
Yeah.
I'll let it
Yeah.
go.
I guess not. I guess not. We're
Yeah.
just gonna do this all episode. All right. Well, PlayStation Showcase PS5 games showed some upcoming. Like Daniel says, third-party indies and some PS exclusives. Some of the ones we were hoping for did not show up on this showcase, but maybe later on, maybe they're saving it for Summer Games Fest. So we'll see what happens then, if they're a part of that. But later on this year, we might get some more news. All right, Dan, you wanna take over?
Yeah. What the fuck am I doing here? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to?
I
do
don't
you
know,
want
you're
to
a
show
fucking
up?
gaming expert, bro.
Let's
Go.
fucking do it. Hey ho! What do you know? Welcome to Video Games with Dan.
God.
Hey
yeah,
ho,
no.
what do you know?
You know where I got that from? Fun fact.
What?
Goofy Movie Part 2.
I love the
that's
Goofy movies.
So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Powerline, greatest performance actor in cinema history. I'd
Polly
say.
Shore is the shit.
I guess. Powerline's the shit, you know. Powerline's phenomenal. Yeah. So we're talking about the PlayStation Showcase, just like Eslam said. We're going to talk about the third-party games, the first-party games, those VR games, and everything else in between. Even though there's no second party anymore, it's technically called first-party according to PlayStation. Eslam, do you want to show up the graphics so we could look at what's happening here?
All right, let's. So before we do that, you guys want to give like non-spoiler like reactions to the game show?
Can we rank
like
the overall
first
thing,
impression?
like what we thought of it? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead. Why don't you start us off?
I'm gonna start it off. Let's say on a scale of 1 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give it a solid 6.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I spoke to Rusty earlier today. I wanted to get his opinion on the showcase and like some other stuff. See what because he's a big PlayStation fanboy, and yeah, he pretty much said the same thing. He's like, this was like a 6 out of 10. Like,
yeah.
But for me, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I mean, not much higher. I would probably just give it like a passing grade of a 7. But yeah, it was good. I mean, I knew Spider-Man was coming. There was that leaked list of games that we kind of shared in the LWGF VGL group chat, and I was just like, oh, I was hoping for some of those to be true, but they weren't. And so I would see some Ghost of Tsushima sequel news, even if it was just like a title or like something.
That would have been a huge hit.
Oh man, it would have been mind-boggling to see that. Yeah. But yeah, for the most part, it was just PSVR 2 games, some first party and a lot of indies and or third party games or whatever, and some of them looked interesting. Others were, I don't know. It's just they were there for me at least. But yeah, 7 out of 10. Rudy, why don't you? You want to go next, Rudy, or?
Yeah, I'll go. I didn't know if Disco wanted to chime in, so I was gonna let him go.
Yeah.
I was gonna go, but then he put you on the big screen, so I was like,
yes. I started off with Dan, a gamer, and then I went, and then I was like, oh, let me put another gamer.
I got
and
you.
Then I'll leave Disco for last. Yeah. So
any disrespect that comes straight from Eslam.
Fuck you, Disco.
Honestly, like I actually thought it was yeah, like a 6.5 or 7. I think they did exactly what they needed to do, though. Everyone wants to be up in arms about it, and I think the reason is because there's always high expectations with Sony, but the truth is that you're gonna let's say you give this one a 6, you give it a 6.5. In the back of your mind, you still have to know that Wolverine is on the back burner, Ghost of Tsushima sequel is on the back burner. Like, there's stuff coming. And honestly, I respect Sony more for putting out what they did because they respected. I mean, they put a lot of love for indie games, they put a lot of love for third parties, trying to keep promoting that population that they're still trying to gain, right? Like true Sony fans already are going to be on the train. They're already going to be on board for Ghost, for Wolverine, for all these other games coming. They need to push the narrative for other games to get everyone else involved. So for me, I really wasn't bothered by it at all. I feel, and the only thing, it's going to sound weird, I actually feel more annoyed that they showed a little bit too much of Spider-Man. Like, you didn't have to give me that. Just show me a clip, give me a date, and I'm good. I'll just ride it out. But for me, I feel like they're going the right approach by.
There still wasn't a date.
Yeah, exactly. I know, just fall. I think
it's fall 2023. Yeah. They put out a tweet or something that did say that they're confident they're gonna hit fall, like it's coming this fall, but they can't give an actual date. But they're like, we're very confident we're gonna hit that date, which I'm sure they are. But I was expecting a date.
I'm cool. I'm cool if they wait it out. Honestly, like it's like I would rather.
I hope they do.
I don't know what's gonna really be coming up next year, but I would rather Spider-Man fall into next year and be more of a Game of the Year contender. Because at this point, I don't see Spider-Man coming out at the end of the year and being a Game of the Year contender with, Zelda out there and Final Fantasy coming out. Like, I don't see it really hitting like that. So there's
Diablo 4 is going to be
Diablo 4. Like, there's just so much competition this year. No. But honestly, I think Sony did what they needed to do. They might have upset a couple people, but for the most part, they're on the top of the hill, so they don't really need to be worrying about too much things right now. Xbox is the one that's really backed into a corner. It's got to show more.
All right, then before your rebuttal, we gotta hear Disco out. Absolutely. So Disco, what you got for us?
For me, as like a very casual gamer, I'm not like as heavy as y'all are. I would give it like
We're paddling together, buddy.
Oh, we're paddling together. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Casual
Me and
So,
Rudy,
gamers out
me and
here.
Rudy have our own like cruisers out here. Like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got we
They
each
got
have, like, a whole
battleships. We
ship
out
load,
here
yeah.
just paddle boating,
I got a little canoe
throwing
ship.
rocks at them.
Got my slingshot,
Yeah.
shooting like a Titanic.
Fucking
But
with the
me as a
S-class
casual
cruisers.
gamer, like I guess like Eslam, we barely play games, but we kind of hang around people that play games, so we kind of know a little, and
Yeah.
so kind of like halfway in, halfway out. I
Yeah.
feel
You know
Fake
like,
it
more
till
than
you
the
make it,
average
baby.
person. You know
Fake
more than
it
the
till
average
you
person, I'd
make
say.
it.
yeah. So I'll give it like a 6.5. I felt like the games were very hit or miss, like extreme. Like if I wasn't into it, I just was very turned off by it.
Yep.
Or if it did pique my interest, I was like very fascinated and enthralled, like very
Yeah.
much
I
like
hope you had that
all
same
I
exact
want to see
reaction.
is exactly
Oh, that would have been
all day.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Eating his
So
taquitos. He's like,
Oh,
ooh.
Ooh.
but yeah, so it was very much a 6.5 for me. There were a few really big titles that I think are pretty mainstream, and they got me too. I felt like, um, and then I guess they were doing some new stuff too, some creative. I felt like directive games, which are kind of cool, but at the same time, I was just like, I don't know, they were landing flat for me. I don't see myself playing them. I guess, and I guess I'm very straightforward. I'm either gonna play this or I'm not, and so I was like, I'm not playing this at all.
makes
Um,
sense.
so yeah, I'll leave it at that. Nice and simple. 6.5. They had some very good stuff, and then they had some very not so good stuff. Very um, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. They're just not my taste, not my cup of tea.
Mm.
Makes sense.
All right. All right, so let's open up the discussion then. Let's get into some of these graphics and talk about like I guess we picked the most like the I guess you want to say popular or like just the
The most
biggest game
noteworthy.
titles. Yeah,
Yeah.
noteworthy. I guess you can say.
To
Um,
us, relative to us.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. So I guess this is kind of relative to everyone, honestly. With Metal Gear Solid, other than myself, but it's just I don't know. I've never played a Metal Gear Solid game
No. Fun
ever.
fact, neither have I.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I know it's very popular. I think Disco, you've played one, if I'm not mistaken.
I've played some on PSP and I think PlayStation, and
Yeah.
I remember hiding in boxes, and I remember like Ninja. It's been so long.
Yeah.
I don't remember like the names, but there's like Ninja Dude,
Yeah.
and some of
I just know
the
Snake is a popular character. I know the
Sons
name,
of
and that's
Liberty. I
about
think
it.
I got up to Sons of Liberty, but I don't know if I finished it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's where I left off.
Rudy, you play any Metal Gear?
Um, I was too young when the first couple came out to really grasp the concept of it. I borrowed Metal Gear Solid 4, I believe, from Malvero or Metal Gear. I think it was Metal Gear Solid 4 from Malvero. I think for the PS3
Mhm.
at that time. Uh, the game's gameplay was great. The concept was cool, but the problem was is that jumping into 4, you really have no base understanding for the characters, and I think that that's my concern with this game. Is that when I saw it, I was excited for it, but I think this is a remake of 3. So if that's the case, I don't know if 3 was intended to be a prequel or what it was. So it kind of is a turn off for me because I still wouldn't want to play this game without going and knowing the
Yeah, but
character.
they do have the
Um,
collection.
yeah, but the collection is still going to be those old graphics, right? So it's like
I don't know. I know that they're I don't know if they're remakes or what's the other one?
Mastered.
Remasters. Yeah, I
remasters.
don't know if they're remakes or remasters. That's the
This one's
difference
full
there.
remake.
This is a full remake, but I'm saying afterward they
That one's
announced that there was the Metal Gear Solid collection, Volume
Oh,
1.
right. Yeah.
And there was
Yeah.
like 3 games there,
Yeah.
and those because I'm in the same boat as Rudy. I want to play the game. I never mess with them. I've seen enough gameplay. I know enough about them to know that they are something I should be interested in. And I was just like, hey, I want to play them, but they are all old graphics. So I see where Rudy's coming from. Where it's like, man, if it's playable but it looks really old, it's gonna be a little bit of a turnoff. I mean, I'll still power through, but at the same time, it's just like, I kind of want them to do that remake treatment like they're doing with Resident Evil or with the Final
Mm,
Fantasy VII, something like that, you know?
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would argue that this game, if this game is a success, I could argue that Sony might still try to work with Konami to try and get Blue Point to make the older games and remakes because that's pretty much what they got Blue Point for, right? But the graphics look great. I saw a side by side of the original graphics with Metal Gear Solid 3, and then this. It's worlds difference. But like I said, I'd have to learn more about it. When I played 4, I liked it. But I like the gameplay, things like that. But like I said, it's hard to jump into a game when you have no base understanding for the character and their history. You kind of don't have the same,
especially
love.
Metal Gear.
Like for
It's
this,
like you don't. Nobody
is,
understands Metal Gear.
Yeah, for this one, it's like a very detailed story and like a lot of twists and turns. He's a clone. There's other clones, and so like it gets pretty in depth.
spoilers.
Well, look who's writing it, Kojima.
Yeah, so I feel like you need
so.
to kind of like definitely kind of get the background story. If you look it up on YouTube, if anything, or like I think it is in this game in particular. It's definitely heavy to know. Well, I don't know how they're gonna unroll it in this new one, but based off what I know, it's very you get attached by knowing the story, and so yeah, I would definitely. Yeah, I don't know. I know what you're saying. The graphics, though. One thing I wanted to mention though is the trailer they actually showed. It was very confusing and misleading at first. They're just showing animals, like different predators going up the ecosystem.
But it made sense.
And the next you know, snake. It's like, oh shit.
Because he's the snake eater. Get it?
Yeah. It was really cool how they did that, but I was just so confused about the whole thing. I was like, oh, this is a crazy nature game. It's like it's in the rainforest. Next thing you know, it's Metal Gear Solid. I was like blown away by that.
Yeah. And that was one of the things that was rumored that was going to be there. But my big thing was like, they didn't say Konami. They didn't say who the developer was. They didn't give any of that. And that's the thing where, like, one rumored team, like Rudy mentioned, was Blue Point. Were they the ones that's doing this remake? You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't like. As far as I know, I haven't gone back and checked. I've been busy with work. But do we still not know who's making this game?
I think Konami is in partnership, but I don't think we have.
But like, who's the dev? Like, they're publishing, I think, but like, who's the dev for it? You know, like, who's developing it?
Yeah, I think you could probably find that though at this point. I would assume. But if it is Blue Point, I mean, if it is Blue Point, I have a hard time believing that though because this is a non-exclusive, so it's gonna be on Xbox. So I don't see PlayStation making something through Blue Point to put on Xbox like that.
I just want to say, Nadia was talking shit. She sent me a message because she can like hear us from the living room.
Yeah, I thought that was Jazz. I was like, she knows better than to yell at me when I'm on the podcast.
Well, I mean, she didn't yell. She sent me a message, but
it was Jazz.
Maybe it was Jazz.
She was like,
it was Jazz.
She was like, what kind of monster has never played Metal Gear Solid? And
everybody here except for
I was like, have you played it? She was like, yeah. I was like, all right, well, me and Dan have it, so
yeah.
I was like, come here and say that shit, but she hasn't come yet, so.
You call yourself gamers.
It'd be good if she did come. We could actually know what the game's about.
Yeah, it's like I always wanted to play it, but it's one of those things where it's just like it's a little too old for me. Like I'll get into it. Like I got into Uncharted the same way. I got into Uncharted later than everybody else, but hey, I've caught up. They came out with the Uncharted collection. They're doing the same thing for Metal Gear. I'll be right there. You know, just gotta wait for this to drop.
I think my problem is that if you find like Metal Gear Solid fanboys like Alvaro and Henry, you ask me what's the game about? It's amazing. That's literally their response.
Anytime Kojima makes a game, if you're a Kojima fan, it's like talking to fucking Jeff Keighley. It's just like, oh no, Kojima, man, it's a great game. It's Kojima.
It's because there's so many twists and turns. You can't just be like, you can't put it in one.
That's like trying to describe One Piece.
Exactly.
To someone who's never read or watched it. Just too much.
Get ready for the ride. Like that's all you gotta say.
It's Virtuos Studios that's developing.
Yeah, I was just googling that.
Metal Gear, so I'm not familiar with them. I'm looking to see what they've done.
Me neither.
All right. I guess we can move on.
Yeah.
Next up, Spider-Man 2. We got to see, I guess, the main villain of the story. I'd never played Spider-Man 1, so I don't really know how the story went. But
why?
I just haven't had the time. I mean, I have it. Dan gave it to me.
That's fucking hilarious. Why?
What do you do
I
with
need
your
people
life?
to enjoy life.
I started gaming during COVID, right? But we're not in COVID anymore. Life's back to normal. I'm busier than ever. So
you want it back?
Well,
not
COVID.
In all honesty,
not COVID. I want I want the time that I had during COVID back. That's
Some
gone now.
not everything that happened during COVID was horrible. Let's just say that. Not everything was
But
horrible.
I mean, the deaths and everything.
Yeah, of course. We don't
that
want
was
that.
bad. I don't want that. I don't want that again. I just want the all the free time I got during COVID to come back again, so I can play some more video games. But
and I never got to experience that free time. I was working in a hospital. I feel like I earned my time.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I put in the work. Everybody else got to take off and stay at home. Where was that for me? You know, I deserve it.
You're too essential.
You know.
So I never played Spider-Man 1. I don't know how the story structure went, but I've seen some things here and there. I saw the trailer for Miles Morales, like the DLC, or it's not, maybe not a DLC. Was it called something else?
What, Miles? It was a game.
Miles Morales was
it was a full game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
It was
that.
a little bit shorter than the original, but it is a straight up game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I think if it's a comparison on hours, I would say Spider-Man's the original game was probably like an 18-hour game, and then Miles Morales was closer to about 8 hours, 8 to 10 hours.
Okay. Cool. All right. So I guess. So what is Miles, like 1.5? Spider-Man 1.5?
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. That's a great way of putting it.
So you got Spider-Man, then you got Spider-Man 1.5, and now you can play as they showed in this gameplay trailer as well. You have Kraven the Hunter as like the main villain, and then you have Spider-Man. Well, maybe he'll be the only main villain. Maybe Peter will become a villain later on, and
you're fighting Peter in this fucking game. You see that?
Yeah. So, 100%. But I think they did a great job with what looked like in the for the symbiote. I thought it looked awesome when he was fighting with them. Miles Morales is great, and the fact that you can like switch between them now, you can play as Miles, and since they were far away, I thought that was really cool. And it's not a co-op; they confirmed it. It's a single player game. You don't need to have two people to play this. You can just switch between the characters and do your. Well, I don't know if it's gonna be voluntary. It's probably,
I hope not.
Story wise, like this is when you take over this character and you start playing, but. No. I don't know. Everything looked really cool. I can't wait to play the other two, but I'm probably not gonna touch them until I get like the PS5 Pro. So maybe next year. We'll see about that. But yeah, man. I enjoyed the trailer. It was a lot of fun. It was. I like this take on Kraven. It was cool. But yeah.
I've never seen I can't imagine a world where Kraven is entertaining. Like I've read Kraven in comic books. I've seen him in shows. And, like. Kraven is, honest to God, maybe the most lame villain I've ever seen. So it's just like when I found out it was Kraven, I was like, oh.
I mean, it's interesting because Lizard is also turning into like a little dinosaur. So
yeah, I mean, I'm more interested in Lizard. I'm more interested in like Venom. But then I was like, oh, Kraven's here. That's cool, I guess.
Is Eddie Brock already in this like a world?
I don't want to spoil it for you.
Okay, never mind then. Okay. Yeah.
But they alluded to the existence of Venom in the first Spider-Man game.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Cool.
As someone that notoriously like plays Switch and just getting into Game Pass now, like I'm not like too big into graphics, but when I saw this, I was blown away. I was like, these are next level graphics. I felt like I was there, especially when they're like web slinging and you see all the water, like the layers. I was like, this is what I'm missing
ray tracing.
Yeah,
this is insane, and the graphics just are so real. The
Miles
of
launching
movement.
himself was cool. Yeah.
I liked like the little awesome. Like the like flying gliding type thing like that wasn't in any of the other games. It's the first time they put that in the Spider-Man game.
Nice,
so that's really cool too.
Yeah, he was like legit flying. He was like even going vertical.
Miles was doing because it was part of his suit, and then Peter was because the Venom suit like he would create it, and so he could kind of go. So it was pretty cool. And how did you guys like when Peter saved that one guy and just fucking chucked him on the floor?
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, damb, bro. And you saw Miles catch that. He looked back at him.
Well, that's the whole trailer. It's funny because like they're like we get it. He has Venom, but I feel like they were kind of overdoing it. And it's funny because like it's just like, all right, we need to save him. I was like, all right, Peter, calm the fuck down. You weigh like fucking $150 or if that. So just relax, all right, buddy. Like this is Miles Morales. He has better powers than you. Like, but I don't know.
They're like, does he normally act like that? He never acts like that.
It's like he has teeth, so do I. I'm like, shut up, Peter. You're a fucking
Oh yeah, I
nerd.
remember that. That was so bad. That line was so bad. I mean, all in all, it was a pretty good trailer though. I think you know what's funny is that when I first saw Craven, I was actually more disappointed that it was Spider-Man though. I thought that Craven would be a dope character to go up against Wolverine. When he was looking for an equal, I really thought that this would be a good way to have Craven versus Wolverine based on both of them having those animalistic tendencies between them. And then that would tie Wolverine into the universe that Spider-Man's in.
But like, how
watching
is
the
Craven
trailer was
even
really
gonna compete? Like, what does Craven have powers?
well, that's the thing.
He takes steroids.
Well, he
Yeah,
I'm not
That's the
joking.
best
I'm not
answer.
joking.
I know.
he has like a
Okay.
serum.
Yeah.
He has like a superhuman
Oh,
serum.
okay.
Honestly, there's been a depiction of Kraven the Hunter in previous games, though in Shattered Dimensions. I played the game, one of the best Spider-Man games that was actually ever created. And if you look at the audience response to it, I actually enjoyed the game a lot. But Kraven plays one of the main characters that you verse in that game, and the way that they had him in the game, and the way he like fights Spider-Man, like he has like animalistic tendencies. He's fast. He's strong. He just uses his environment to his advantage, like things like that. So it was pretty interesting. How they tie him in here, I'm not really sure. I think it's going to be dope though. One thing to at least take from the first game is that there was a couple different villains that you're playing throughout the game, so at least you'll know that
Sinister Six.
the one thing so the one thing I loved about the first game is you kind of never knew where the story was going to go, and I feel like that's the same thing going on here. I give so much credit to Insomnia Games for like doing such a great job with even the way that they're showing the web slinging and the little added features, right? Because how many times have we seen and played Spider-Man games where it's the same thing? Okay, I'm web swinging around New York. I'm still just swinging. I'm swinging. Like now you're gliding. You're going through pieces of like what was it? They went through like a monorail cart or something
They had
that.
a few things like that. They didn't have monorail carts, but they had a few things.
There was like a wind tunnel effect between the buildings too. It looked like.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that was there, but that's because they tried to implement things where it was just like, hey, while you're gliding, do tricks, and especially when you're Miles did some really cool shit where he would just like float and like do stuff. So that was all pretty cool. But it was like, I get what you're saying, where it's like the swing. I mean, I never got tired of the swinging. I've never seen a game that does Spider-Man so.
Oh no,
quick.
me neither. But that's what I'm saying though. For Insomnia to be able to innovate in the
Yeah.
swinging more, you know what I mean? Like that's what I really like. They didn't get the one thing is that they didn't get stagnant with the way that they're trying to portray the game. And like even with Miles, like if you look at the little nuances that Miles does, he almost does like a fucking Kamehameha with his shock ability. So it's like there's such little things that they're able to add onto the game that it's just gonna be like it doesn't feel like the same game. It doesn't even feel like it's just going to be an add-on to the game, which is what I love to see. So I'm excited.
They did a good job between the two Spider-Mans that released too. If you look at it, Spider-Man was the first one. It was an already established Spider-Man. Peter's been Spider-Man for a bit, so he already has he knows what he's doing. Miles, he's just getting used to being Spider-Man. So even when he would swing real sloppy. So it's like they went in detail in that to that point where it's like they didn't do the same type of swing animations. Like he go in there, you see like he's like fucking like trying to catch himself, and like even Peter, if you ever like let go of the button, he would just fall and like do a superhero like landing. Miles would fucking like it looked like he died when he would fall. It's like he would crash, he would bounce off the ground. It was like a whole fucking thing. So and you can see in this game, Miles swings a little bit better, but he still has a different flair than Peter does.
How old is Peter in the games?
Mid-20s.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say about 25 around that time. And then Miles has to be
Miles is
17
somewhere around
maybe?
there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because in the game he was going to a new high school.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Anything else we want to say about Spider-Man?
Can't wait. Looking forward to it. And I know that I don't know if it's going to happen in this game or if they're going to save it for another game or if they're keeping it secret. We know Norman Osborn's in the game. He was in the last one, in the first original game. He's running or is mayor of New York.
Mm-hmm.
And they've already shown plenty of Green Goblin stuff here and there. So I'm just waiting to see how they do Green Goblin. Very, very interested in that.
Cool.
The only other thing I'll say is I actually really love the take on the black suit. Like if you watch it and you pay real close attention, that suit is constantly like it's moving. Like, and I loved that about it. I was like, oh, they literally made it to be like it's a living thing on him, which is a perfect portrayal. And I was like, wow, it's just so different. So different from what we've even seen from movies. So I thought that was cool.
And I can't wait I don't want to spoil it. I can't wait for the Harry stuff. If
Yeah.
you know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah. Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. I wasn't as excited as Dan was for this game. I saw it. Um, it's like Chinese culture based. There's a lot of cool stuff in it, but like I don't know. It didn't draw me. I don't know.
What's the name again? It's
Phantom
Phantom.
Blade Zero.
Phantom Blade Zero.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Phantom
Fuck you.
Blade Zero.
You say you keep saying Phantom Blood. Like I was
I know,
looking it
I
up,
know.
Phantom Blood,
I know.
and I couldn't find that shit. And I was
You
like,
know what it
the
was? I
fuck?
was at work today.
Gotta
I was at
fucking knock
work
on the
today
door.
talking about it, and people kept on referring to it as Phantom Blood, and it fucked me because I know it's Blade.
Yeah. So Phantom Blade
It's
Zero,
been infected.
and what is this kind of like a Souls game?
Yeah, so it's looking like it's a Souls game, but it has I see like a couple like cinematic set pieces, very Uncharted like at moments. So I feel like it, and they said it's supposed to be like an open world too. So I feel like if you were to combine something like an Uncharted and an Elden Ring and kind of mesh it, that's what this seems to be. No guarantees,
Yeah.
but I thought the fighting looked really cool. The sword fighting looked awesome. Visually looked cool. I mean, the way he was fighting, like at first I was watching, I was like, all right, I don't know. And then he did the one thing where he like punched and kicked somebody at the same time. I was like, hang on a second. Hang on. What the fuck's happening?
No,
here?
you can definitely see the Chinese
Yeah.
sword martial arts in it because like I've seen that move where the blade and the kick come out at the same time, and he did that. It's very well done. Like the choreography looked like it was done well.
So the choreography, I forgot the exact details, but there was a legit dude who they were like, who knows how to do this shit, and they just had like a virtual like fucking camera recording him, and that's where they got it from. So it's a
the
legit
movements.
man who did these
It
movements.
reminded me of like an Asian Zorro, just kicking ass with a sword, total badass. Just
I just want to know if it's linear or if it's open world. Like when I was watching it, it gave me a combination of Sekiro and Assassin's Creed vibes. Those were that if I could mix two games together, I would think it was that. But I don't know if it's.
I'm pretty
linear.
sure it's open.
Either way,
but I'll look it up.
If it's
Why
open
don't
world,
we,
then it's definitely give me
Why don't
Sekiro
we
and
watch the
Assassin's
trailer?
Creed.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Like I was loving watching the gameplay and
What's
the
your plan?
fighting mechanics.
Knowing you have only 66 days to live.
And this has been confirmed to be a PS5 and PC exclusive.
Interesting with the PC part.
Okay.
Just run away.
Yeah, see, like all of this is giving me Ghost of Tsushima, Assassin's Creed vibes.
It won't make any
Is it lagging
difference
for you
at the
guys or?
end of the day.
A little bit. It's all right. Though.
I was
like
reading up
for a
on the
bit,
game
and
a
now
little
it's
bit, but I'm
kind of
You know
fun.
better than
Yeah,
anyone
same.
else. That no one could escape.
Itachi.
Like most of this is all gameplay.
Everyone wears a mask. You too. This is a real face.
He let you live? What secret did you sell him?
Now you look at all that dodging.
Yeah.
Fluidity and the dodging is something you don't see as clean like that.
And I see what you're saying, Rudy, where it gives off Ghost of Tsushima vibes, but it has like that, like Eslam said, like the Chinese like swordsmanship and everything mixed in.
Well,
with
this
it.
is based on definitely like Chinese
Oh, yeah.
mythology and like culture. Right, you see it in the architecture, just the clothes, that
This is where I
dragon
got,
thing.
yeah, this is where I got the Uncharted vibes, like on that cart. Where you
Kind
see,
of reminds me
like,
of Bayonetta a little.
I'll tell you, the one thing that I love about seeing the fighting styles though is like, as he's blocking, he's also intentionally dodging. So he's moving his entire body as if he were to, like that block wouldn't be enough for his body to still get out of the way. Typically in games where they're blocking, it's just a strict block.
Yeah, I know. I get what you mean.
This right here, this is straight up something you would see in Uncharted. Not obviously the swords fighting, but like you have to do stuff while shooting, and then you're on a moving thing, stuff's happening. Like that's something you'd find in a Naughty
Quick
Dog
buttons
game.
animations. Love that.
Yeah, this looks incredible.
I mean, he also has his
so good.
2 fingers up in the other hand,
Mhm.
and that's usually how they.
He's giving peace out.
Nah, like usually when they like from whenever I've seen it is like they do this.
It's a rectum
Like,
exam.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like the details are nice.
Mhm.
Time is not on his side.
So I did read a little bit while you're pulling this up. It's
Okay.
considered a semi-open world game.
Mm-hmm.
Take for that what you will. Also, the kind of the story is I was doing a quick read on it. You're cursed or something, like you were, I think, some type of bodyguard or some shit. You were like killed and you were brought back to life by whatever, and you have 66 days to confront your enemy.
Ah, okay.
So that's like the story
Okay.
behind this.
Interesting.
Phantom Blood.
I like it.
Phantom Blade Zero.
Phantom Blood Zero.
Yeah, so it has some interesting qualities, but I mean, I guess this is not enough for me to be excited about it yet. Because I guess from my point of view, just like I have so little time to play games, like
Yeah.
I can't be excited by like every game. So it's just like I don't know.
I trust
We'll
you.
see.
This showcase did not excite me about every game.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like it's visually stunning, but I feel like the gameplay will get stale really fast. Just like the
I feel like
fighting.
the visuals are nice, but I feel like Ghost of Tsushima had better visuals. Like it
Oh,
had,
yeah.
it had better detail.
Oh, yeah.
Ghost
for
had
sure, probably.
Ghost was like one of the most beautiful games ever made,
Yeah.
like ever. This isn't that. I feel like from what I've seen, granted, I don't have hands-on control or anything. Based off visuals alone, this looks like it could potentially rival Ghost of Tsushima battling, like fighting, if not surpass it. I would have to actually play
we
the
need
game.
to see we need to see more gameplay.
Mhm.
Like yeah, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but I feel like it's there.
See, but a game like this is perfect for almost filling a niche, right? Like when I think of a game like this, I think of like Hellblade. Hellblade was a game that was created by a third party that wasn't intended to be an amazing game and just blew away a lot of people, and that's what made Microsoft buy them. So this game, I'm cool to be looking at like, okay, the visuals are great, and if I get my gameplay on it and it's great when it's in my hands, that'll be awesome. But it's intended to be more of a stopgap in between what Sony wants to put out themselves. And if it comes out to be an amazing game, then I think it's just that much of an added factor. So I'm just hoping, because then it just gives us more great games to play.
It kind of reminds me of Devil May Cry a little too, like the gameplay.
That's what I honestly thought it. I thought it was a spin on Devil May Cry when you see the guy with the white hair. I was like, huh, I wonder if this is like a spin in a different age or something like that. Because the Devil May Cry games, people love them, but I feel like they're getting so played out. So it'd been cool to have like, like maybe like a historical version of Dante or an ancestor of Dante or something like that. But it's pretty. I mean, I'm still going to be interested to see what they do with this.
Dante's cousin.
dev-
Yeah.
The dev for this game they're called S Game, S dash in the word
Yeah.
game, and this is their first Western release.
Oh,
So I'm not too familiar
are
with their
they
stuff.
Chinese?
Oh,
based
I
game
do. I do remember reading this.
developer?
Okay, this is gonna be interesting. They specialize in making mobile games. Phantom Blade.
Huh.
Phantom Blade is a series that exists. I might be getting this mixed up with something else. I'll double check my sources, but unless I'm mistaken, Phantom Blade is a mobile game. Yep, I'm seeing it here. Phantom Blade Executioners for PC gameplay. Usually it's called Dark Kung Fu Punk action game. Available on Android, iOS, Windows PC. So Phantom Blade is a universe that exists. This is their first time developing a game for console. So they've made games, and supposedly their thing is, hey, they figure out how to do it on a touchscreen, which is very difficult to do. We're doing it with actual controllers and give you a game and the whole world experience it. So they are out there, and this series, this universe, Phantom Blade does exist already. So
And where are they from?
they are a Chinese developer.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Let's continue. All right. Sword of the Sea. Art style wise, it's nice. Like it has this interesting art style. Have no idea what the game's about. Don't even
Surfing.
remember if they showed any gameplay or not. I think he's surfing on
Oh,
a
they did.
sword.
They did.
Yeah, sure. But I'm just saying, I just don't remember. I don't know. Dan said he found this one of the few interesting games that they showed.
It's
So I put it on
100%
here.
noteworthy and worth talking about because of the studio.
Yeah, I was gonna say
That's
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
that's the reason.
So take over, bro.
So
What?
basically, it's developed by Giant Squid. Giant Squid, the team that made Rudy. Journey, one of the most beloved and
They
games
made the
ever. Some
band.
people, yep, and it's like one of the best games ever
The
made.
wheel
And
in
then
the
you have
sky
Journey,
keeps
and
on
then with that, you go ahead
turning.
and then you create throwing like stuff where it's skating. They freaking have a half pipe in the game, or
Okay.
surfing. So it's like having Journey, which is such a great experience. Visually, it's one of the best games ever. It's storytelling done in such a great level. I never even finished Journey, to be perfectly honest with you. It was cool, but I just had other stuff to play, so I never got back to it.
The name sounds familiar. I just don't remember.
Huge deal. That developer, did they also, they didn't make Gris, that's a different one. But they did Journey, they did Abzu. They've done well, huh?
Abzu and the
Yes, and the Pathless, thank you. So these are all games where you have like that visual style, but it's just
Mhm.
like the moment you see, oh, this is Giant Squid, this is a big fucking deal. Pretty much. So
Okay.
that's why
I
it's
mean, yeah, I've never. I'm looking up images of Journey now. I've never heard or seen this game.
Yeah,
huge.
they're not
Yeah.
a they're not a big, in my opinion, they're not a big story driven type of game. If you're looking for like a narrative, there it's not
Mhm.
really there. Like they have a base story for what their game is about when you have a character, but it's not like narratively driven. It's more about stunning
It's
visuals and
storytelling, but just
amazing
not
art
traditional
flow.
storytelling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, when I saw this, I thought it was Journey
I same
2.
exact
Like
thing.
I seriously, I was
Oh
like, I
shit,
saw
Journey
something like,
too.
I was like, holy shit, Journey 2. And then it was like a completely different game, which I love because every time they do this, you can just see like, because I've actually played all the games to an extent. I beat Journey, but I didn't beat Abzu or the
Mm.
Pathless. But like they're just visually stunning, and I feel like they add something on to each core mechanic as they make a new
Mm.
game. But I wouldn't be surprised if this, I don't know if this game comes out this year, but like games like this by Giant Squid are usually in the running for game of the year because of their
Mm.
mechanics and their visuals, everything
Yeah,
about it. So far, like Giant Squid doesn't really
pretty
miss,
much.
so it's gonna be
Rudy, when
interesting.
you finished Journey, how did you feel about the ending when they revealed the other person?
I don't think I don't think I had a reaction
People
to it.
people were
I, that was
losing
at
their
the
mind. The
time.
way Journey worked is when you play the game, you're just out there, you're running around, you're doing shit. Every once in a while, some another character would show up, and then you were
Yeah,
just like, "What? Okay, what the fuck are they doing? Like, why is this? Whatever." And then at the very end, when you finish the game, it shows you all the people you played with, and it was revealed that every time another person showed up, that was another person playing the game, and you didn't know.
Oh.
oh, I don't remember
Oh,
that. I mean, that's
Yeah,
pretty dope though. I do remember people
yeah,
showing up, and I'd try to chase them. Like I'd find them and I'd try to
yeah.
go after them, and they'd eventually
Yeah, that's the
disappear,
thing. They would disappear,
and
and
I'd
that
just
was
be
other
pissed.
people. Like your games are connecting, and no, you never knew. And then like not till the very end, you're like you were playing with blah 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 blah, and it just shows you the whole list of games. And that's the journey. You're going on a journey with somebody, and then they would
Nice.
Oh,
disappear, and
that's
then you
pretty
would have a
dope.
new person come on the journey along with you. So, yeah, cool,
Interesting.
really
that's
cool,
like
really
a
cool idea,
metaphor for life.
bro. Like Giant Squid, like they're pretty out there. Like I said, it's non traditional storytelling. You know,
Hey, non-traditional stuff is usually very interesting, eye-opening,
yeah.
and it's it peeks over the cubicle, as Disco says.
There you go.
I've always been surprised that Sony never decided. I don't know what the limitations are. Maybe Giant Squid just doesn't want to be bought, but like I'm surprised Sony never thought about buying Giant Squid, mainly because if they were ever going to make a game that would be as visually like on par as like Legend of Zelda, I think Giant Squid would do an amazing
Mm,
game. That would be on that type of
I
level.
mean,
But I don't know.
I
The
would love to
Legend
see
of
this on Game Pass.
Zelda isn't like it is visually nice, but it really sticks to this specific art style, and it
Hmm.
lets them do a lot. Because if they were trying to do like, I don't know, Ghost of Tsushima level um like
Visuals.
visuals with their type of open world, uh I don't think, well, obviously the Nintendo Switch wouldn't be able to handle it, but just it would just be really big, and it would be weird. So I think like sticking to that specific like low key art style was what like
Mm.
made it successful.
Yeah.
And if this game it doesn't have to match its art style, but they have their own art style, and if they make an open world that's as interesting and has a good story, but it would need a story, right? It can't just be an open world for open
Yeah.
world's sake.
At the same time, though, it's like I feel like they're so good at smaller games.
Yeah.
You look at a Zelda.
Yeah.
Zelda's usually a big game, and like
Yeah.
they've had different variations of art styles, but they always had like that. It's basically at the end of the day, it's still a cartoon, just different types of cartoons. But that's Zelda. Like this, like Eslam said, they have their own visual stuff. And if you look at Abzu, if you look at the Pathless, you look at Journey, you look at this, they're similar, but they're very different too.
Yeah, like Journey
Yeah.
has the picture I saw. It has like a similar color palette.
Mhm.
Not 100% the same, but it is a similar art style. It draws from the same inspiration, but it's
Yeah.
not like 100% like
Yeah.
repetitive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's definitely something to keep an eye out for.
Oh.
I missed the days where Sony had mascots. So I thought that a game like
Jim Ryan,
let's say they
man.
were to buy Giant Squid, yeah, like it's just if they were to buy something like Giant Squid and make a nice story out of it with a character, like I always look at Sony and I always wonder myself, what are the games that get kids interested in the
God of
console
War.
and away from Nintendo? But I almost feel like
Last of Us.
Nintendo is
God
What?
of
The
War
Last
and
of
Last
Us?
of Us. They're perfect for kids.
for kids. Yeah, that's the thing. I think for the most part, Sony loves Nintendo because they use Nintendo as a way to guide kids into gaming. So when they get to a certain age, then they migrate to Sony because those are a little bit more adult type games. But I miss the mascot days.
I mean,
so
you
it'd
got
be interesting.
Kratos, you got Aloy, Nathan Drake, Jin.
I'm talking about for kids though.
Yeah,
For
well,
kids.
fuck the kids. You know, like Michael Jordan once said, fuck them kids.
Oh, man.
All right.
Never.
Yeah, never ever. So this is another game that has a interesting art style. I enjoyed the way the fox was drawn. This fox spirit deity or whatever it is was drawn.
It's trying to get the tree out of its head. That's all it was.
Yeah, gets attacked by the shadows, and that's all we kind of get. This little cinematic trailer, no dialogue, no other story really. Visually, it looks interesting. Don't know what kind of gameplay it's gonna be. Don't know what kind of. I mean, because this could all just be cinematic, and then when you get the game, it's like a 2D game. You know what I
Very,
mean?
very much could be the case. Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't really know much about it, but I guess it looked interesting. So Dan was also interested in this one, so I put it on.
For me, it's. I mean, give me a game that they talk about like fucking emotions and shit. It was like, all right, I'll pick that over a fucking shooter any day. You know, you keep
Sure,
your fucking
same,
Call
yeah.
of Duties and Halos, but if you give me this, it was like, oh yeah, there's a fox and that's potentially the parent and it died, and now there's like an emotional moment and they're both about to cry. I'm like, fuck yeah. I want to play this. You know,
Simba, yeah, that's exactly
for
what I was
real,
thinking.
Lion
yeah,
King.
exactly. But it's like that's what it looks like, and it was just like, and they held on that moment too, where it was just like,
Yeah.
damn, they're going for the feels, and it's one of those things where like I see this was like, if this is the art style, if it is, let's say, a side scroller where you have to like, you have both these characters. Now this is me, you know, implementing a lot of my thoughts onto what I saw.
Yeah,
But like, if it is something like that where you have both characters, and think if it's something like what's the game I'm looking for? Like Inside, a game kind of like that where it's just like, but you have two characters, maybe they work simultaneously. You control one while the other does something, or you control both, however you want to do it. In this art style and giving you an emotional story, and then most importantly, this is the perfect touch: no dialogue. I think that could be a good like, oh, this is the indie darling.
interpretive gaming.
I mean, which is, we've seen millions of games like this already, but it's just like, fucking give me more, keep it going, you know?
Give me more. Give me
I felt
more.
like- I felt like it looked cool, but honestly, I'm
Tell me
never
more,
gonna
by the way.
play it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I was like, I'm sitting here jamming. I'm like, I don't think it's called
It's
Give
not.
Me More.
no.
I was like, was there a sex scene in that movie?
Yes.
No,
like,
that
that
was
one's
the when the girls were singing and she was speaking and they were
It
like,
was the girls and the
Yeah.
guys.
yeah. Well, I know, but aren't the girls the one that said "Give me more"? The guy said it too.
So they're the guys.
Oh, okay.
Tell me more, tell me more. Did you
more.
get very far?
Okay.
That's the guys.
So when you say "Give Me More," that was the next song where they were fucking.
Yeah.
Give me more, give me more. Is this all that you got? But yeah, no.
Is it in yet?
Remix.
Like,
Remix.
It's
All
in
right.
Grease too. Shitty movie. Don't watch it.
Okay.
It's really a movie. Don't watch it.
No, I believe you.
Yeah.
Take your word for it. All right, and this
Project
Q.
Project Q.
Project Cute.
How do you guys feel about this?
This is adorable, but I don't know. I love the PSP.
Mhm.
So when I heard something like this might be coming out, I was like, nice, a competition for the Switch. PlayStation's doing it. PSP was awesome. I really enjoyed it back in the day. I enjoyed the Switch now. And then they were like, hey, this is a streaming device and a controller.
Yep.
That's what you get.
A streaming device directly from your PS.
So all
Sure.
you're doing, you're just streaming from the
Yeah,
PS5
you're
to
remote
the-
playing your
yeah.
PS5 in a
On
handheld
your- yeah.
device. Sure, that's cool.
Yeah, which I do on my laptop already, which I've done on multiple devices already. I can
Yeah.
already do this.
But now you have like a dedicated, device. So it's just like, all right, cool, I guess. But
Yeah.
it's like, what's the point of it? And like, how much is this gonna cost? Because this is what's gonna make or break this thing. Because if like, does anybody want to pay more than $200 for this?
That thing's easily.
I know it's.
I'll say
I know it's
Minimum.
going to be 200 minimum, sure,
200,
but
yeah.
like who's gonna wanna like? I mean, sure, there's like your super PlayStation fanboys that are gonna want to do this. Who wants to buy a piece of hardware $250, $300, almost the same price as a like baseline Switch, not the OLED?
But Eslam, what if I told you could get this and you could get earbuds?
Yeah, but I gotta pay for the earbuds too.
I know.
You know what I mean? It's not like it
so
comes with
fucking
the
dumb.
earbuds.
It's so dumb. Hey, you want earbuds? Why would I have these earbuds? You hear good. with
Yeah,
them,
yeah.
And they say
Yeah.
PlayStation, and they work for your PlayStation. Like, oh, so does my headset and
Yeah,
my
yeah.
current earbuds and everything
Oh,
else.
and they also work for your phone too.
Yeah, it was like,
so
just like all the other ones I have.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, but these say PlayStation.
But like, I just don't understand why they did this. Like, okay, so it's cool. You get the exact haptic controls as your PlayStation 5 controller, all like the DualSense stuff, and all the great things that they've created for the PS5 controller. Cool. You get a nice, decent sized screen. Was it like 8.5 inches? Like 8.5?
Something like that.
So okay, what's the hardware in this? That's is it just Wi-Fi and a nice screen and a
They fucking
battery
put a tablet between in the middle of a fucking controller.
and a
They really
battery?
did.
And
I'm
then
gonna drop that in 2 seconds.
so yeah, no, this is what I'm saying. It's like, what's the point of this if all it does is remote play?
Yeah, the fact that it's not like
Yeah, I
true
think-
portable makes it. I think it just hinders it. Like
Exactly.
dramatically.
Like I think
Like,
that's like so much more disappointing than
I mean, I'll be real honest. If this shit was really true portable, I'd be terrified to take this out anywhere. Into
It
the
looks
world.
like- yeah.
This is something.
Like, what does the
Snatch
case
it.
for
I
this
wouldn't-
look like? Do you
Yeah.
put something around it to
Yeah.
keep it? Like, what?
book bag.
Yeah. I don't know. When I saw this in the complete the streaming features, like that was just completely streaming again, I was like, oh, this is horrible. Because I'm like, what houses do people like? Does Sony think people live in? Like I don't like everyone doesn't live in a 2-story house where your gaming is in one room and you want to be somewhere else. And not everybody is the person where it's like, okay, everything is on one television and I just want to be on I want to continue to be on this mobile platform while someone else is watching TV. Like it really just is insane to me because like this isn't portable. This isn't portable at all. This is going to lie in your living room on a table while your console's in a completely different room. You're not going out to the street with this. You're not going out to the backyard with this.
I mean, the only people I see
really
doing that
don't know why they
is
did this.
kids, maybe taking it to school or something, or
Mm-hmm.
having it so they, while they're at a restaurant, ignoring their parents instead of being on their phone, they're going to be on this playing whatever Call of Duty game they play or Fortnite or whatnot. But
But
like,
doesn't it have to be connected to the console?
No, that's the thing. It has to be connected to the console.
You have to no. So,
that's
the way
no,
streaming
it's
works,
Wi-Fi.
It's
going to
through
be
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's going to be Wi-Fi remote play.
So mind you, I've
Oh,
done it
okay.
in the sense where it's like I know that you can take like I said, I've done it with my laptop. You could have your console in one location, have your laptop in another location. Basically, you remotely turn on your PlayStation.
Yeah.
And then you play it on your screen. Now, if you don't have a good Wi-Fi signal, you're fucked.
Yeah, of course.
But like
it's all
that's
dependent
how it
on the
works.
Wi-Fi. It's all dependent
Yeah.
on the internet.
like I said, I just hate that.
Oh.
I would have rather you give me a terabyte or 500 gigabytes worth of storage and let me just have over cloud save and just continue my game onto the device. Like I don't like who's
Yeah.
gonna carry this? Where are you gonna
Yeah.
put
Even
this?
if you could fit like, like 2 games on it, at least you could play like 2 games out in the
Because
wild.
then you can pick the game like sort of the C where you don't need to run it on your PlayStation 5 because it doesn't need that power. And then you can play it on this and it's perfect because that's the kind of game you'll play on this while you're out and about commuting or something.
The killer,
And then you come back to your PlayStation 5 and play Spider-Man too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The killer for me is like we're in 2023. We're in fucking June. No, are we in June? We're in May of 2023.
We about to
And
June. It's like one
we're
week away.
we're almost there. But it's like we have had different iterations of the Nintendo Switch. Granted, the different iterations being the OLED and then the one that the things don't come off. We're in a post Steam Deck era.
Yeah.
So you see, okay, this is what people like.
Yeah.
People like to have these devices that are basically consoles that you can carry around with you, whether you consider them handheld or portable or whatever the fuck you want. But then you can do the dock on both of these items where Eslam, you described it perfectly. You could play this game over here and then play another game here. Or like Rudy said, you could just pick up the game and continue where you left off. You could do it on both these devices. Switch came out in when? Fucking 2015, if that? It's 2023. Well, you've had so much time, and Sony's like, we're gonna do it, and this is how we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like, bro, haven't you seen the world? Like, the Switch is the best-selling console for a reason.
Yeah.
Look at what they're doing. Do that, but for PlayStation, that's a no-brainer.
Like when the Switch came out, I was like, why isn't like Xbox should definitely jump on this because they have like the Surface and the Surface Pro. They have like tablet technology that they can just like, take from Microsoft, adapt, make better, whatever they need to do to create a handheld device game. And like Sony, you had fucking how many years with the PlayStation and PlayStation Vita? You have all that data and all the stuff that you collected from the users that you could have used. You look at how the Switch is made, and make it better and combine it with your PS. Fuck, I already forgot. PSP and the PS Vita. And create something wholly new and great and fantastic, but no, you guys gotta.
I think they're
pull
afraid
an
of
Xbox.
it. I think they're afraid of it because the Vita failed. Let's be real, Vita failed, and then the PSP was just like it was cool for what it was, but it's just like it really didn't set the world on fire like they thought it was going to.
Yeah.
The people who liked it, they liked it because you could fucking hack the damn thing and play anything else on it. That's why they liked it.
Yeah.
Guilty.
Well, that's probably
People are gonna hack
why,
this too.
because they lost a lot of money because people were just like
Exactly.
they jailbroke it and just downloaded the games instead of going and buy it.
But
But they
then-
were also charging you $70 for those fucking games, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, come on, man.
But then it's like you make the Vita, that fails, and then Nintendo's just like, fuck it, let's make the Wii U, and that failed. But it's like the PSP, the Vita, the Wii U all existed so that the fucking Switch could run.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like that's where it came from. And then Steam Deck is just like, hey, we tried doing a Steam machine back in the day. That was fucking trash. Let's try to do something else. What's the Switch doing? Let's fucking do that. Throw a whole lot more tech in it, a better screen, and fucking give you access to all PC games. And that's where we got the Steam Deck. So it's like it makes sense. You look at the models before and you innovate and you improve off of it. And
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Sony did not. Not in this case. Not in this case.
It's like Nintendo's gonna Nintendo, right? So they're like looking at this shit. They're like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah, how do I put cardboard on this?
Yeah. So it's just like,
And they do.
Let's make another portable one even better though. Like, you know what I mean? Because we're great. We got shit ton of money. Let's just fucking do it.
But then they'll come out with a Wii U, be like, this is what you want. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, Nintendo.
Nah, you
Then-
fucked up. You took like 3 steps forward and like you took 5 steps back, but you'll make it up with another like 8 steps forward.
Yeah, it's
And,
like I don't know what the fuck they're doing anymore.
They're like, so I don't know. Yeah.
It's like you said though. Like when you compare them, like the one thing that a lot of people really loved recently was I don't know if you guys know about the backbone.
Oh yeah.
The backbone is the little. There's just 2 controllers. You put your phone in between it. It tightens up around
Great
it,
invention.
and then you can just play remote play. That's like $100. So it's like
So that's what they
you
made.
really want to.
So
Well,
that's
it's
what
not
they
remote
made.
play. It's you stream games on it.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't have to have your device turned on. Like and
Sorry,
then
yeah.
like you have something like Game Pass. Like Eslam, I know you mentioned the Surface thing, which I still think it's a good idea, but Xbox is so much like let's fucking put Game Pass on everything to the point where it's just like, bro, the other day I'm at work, I was on my break and I was legit playing Vampire Survivors on my phone through Game Pass, which is stupid because I have an app for the phone too, but that's a whole other thing. But it's just like You can play Game Pass on your phone. You can play it on your computer. You can play it on fucking Samsung
All right.
smart TVs. Have the app
Sony,
for it.
give this to Xbox so they can put Game Pass on it and they can just sell that. It'll
real?
probably
Pass
sell more
portable.
than their Xboxes.
Yeah. Also, how come we still haven't had a fucking deal where Xbox has put Game Pass on the Switch? I know that was rumored forever ago. What happened? Well, let's get back to that. I want the Game Pass on the Switch.
Nintendo's probably stopping that.
I don't think the hardware can.
I think
handle
that's
it.
the true issue. I think Nintendo's like Nintendo go fuck. They're out there fucking playing with their blocks in the backyard. Let them
Eating glue.
And Xbox is like, yo, we need this shit. Can we put it out there? It's like, hey man, it's not that strong enough. I'm gonna eat this fucking Play-Doh. Like,
yeah.
They're putting crazy glue on their fingers as they're talking, like on the Zoom call.
God.
Xbox over here struggling. Like, man, you did your shit with Zelda. Like, it's just, I guess we did it by accident.
This shit is too funny, man.
Lucky miracles.
Oh boy, yeah. So I have no idea what the fuck they're trying to do with this.
It's just so if you're playing
I
your
think it's gonna
console
fail
and you have to go
horribly.
to the bathroom, you
There
just
it
like
is.
continue your game experience.
It's the shit machine.
It's the shit player.
Dude, how much do you think this needs to be for it to succeed?
Price-wise?
400.
For it to succeed, you mean like
yeah.
sell?
Yeah, I
to
think like
sell or
$100
to get money back.
Like
What
100
are
or
you trying to
150
do?
bucks.
To break even.
I'll say $150. $150 would be a perfect price point that would sell it and have enough people interested in it to just warrant getting it. Anything more than that though, like $200,
It has to be
you're
like
pushing it.
$200 max.
You know what I would do?
I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna pray that this is a stopgap though. I'm gonna pray that this is Sony's chance. I'm praying that they didn't spend a lot of money on making this, and that this is going to show whether or not they can put the games on a mobile platform, and then they will make the next PS Vita. Because I have a hard time believing that this was their vision. Because the PS Vita was trash. So why are you doing that? And then, in my opinion, taking a step backwards. So I'm gonna hope that this is a stopgap.
Happy birthday, Henry.
But 150, I'll say 150.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. Can you get
honestly-
all the processing, the computer parts to play PS5 games on stream for 150? I don't know.
Well, it's not. It's remote play, right? So it's using your PlayStation 5 as the power, as the processing power. All you're doing is linking.
But weren't
to a
you
game.
saying that you have to connect to Wi-Fi?
Sure.
Like,
So the
get
the
the
only thing
signal,
that's going to
yeah.
affect your gameplay is the Wi-Fi, right? How strong the Wi-Fi is. So if the Wi-Fi suck, it's gonna lag, but it's not lagging because of the hardware or your PS5. It's just lagging because the internet connection is weak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't get what's so hard about it. Just give me a PS Vita type feel with triggers. Dumb down the games to 480. I do not care. Nintendo has shown that I can play games at 480 and they still be fine. I'm not expecting much on a mobile platform, and then I'll be fine. Like, I'm not expecting to play 4K games on the go right now. Just give me something where I can play it on the go right now.
Totally
Totally
you can do it
agree.
on the Steam Deck though. Yeah.
It is what it is, man. All right, enough shitting about Project Q.
Happy birthday, Henry.
Damn, you mad late, bro.
Yeah, you're late as fuck.
Yeah, y'all were talking. I didn't want to interrupt.
Nah, we said it.
Yeah,
and,
we
like,
said it. We found an opening and just threw it in there real quick.
Oh,
That's
well, I
not
totally
but I
missed
said it
it.
at the same time.
We literally did. And then what I loved about the showcase is that they threw this up there. Xbox tweeted this. Honestly, they should have tweeted this on their Project Q with the Xbox Game Pass on it, since all you can do is stream. That would have been fucking hilarious, but I guess they can't be taking that many shots at them because, you know, they're losing this
Well, they can't, 'cause
generation.
Ever since the years ago when PlayStation fucking came at them, like they call the whole like this is how you share games on Xbox. Like, well, this is how you do it on PlayStation. Like that's a whole other fucking thing. But no, I mean it's great. We knew most of these games were third party. I love this move from Xbox. I love
it's
that
funny.
they came out and
I
they
like
did this.
it.
I mean, yes, it's funny, but my thing is kind of like they need this. They need to
Yeah.
be like, yo, I know everybody's hating on us because of Redfall. I know PlayStation has the showcase that everybody's excited about, and they're going to show these games. fuck it, we got these games too. I feel like they were just waiting there. They had the image. They're like, fucking, all right, we're watching the press conference. Every single game that they have, we're fucking throwing in here. We're gonna get on Canva real quick and just fucking tweet this
on Canva. That'd be goddamn.
Exactly.
That would be so funny.
It was Phil Spencer himself. It's like, oh, I got these motherfuckers.
He did this shit on Canva and put it up. That's fantastic. Oh my god, if he did, bro, I just need to see a video of him putting this together and just like clicking send, and that would be so funny.
It's like, we ain't gonna be in third place for much longer.
That'd be hilarious. All right, well, that's the main games that we thought we should talk about from any runner-ups or any honorable mentions you guys wanted to. Yeah, I know I have it loaded up, but I'm building up to it. Honorable mention games that you guys would like to discuss.
I mean, we don't really have to discuss them. I'll just talk about the honorable mentions that I'm actually interested in based on
list them
looking
off.
at the event, right? Like the two that stuck out to me the most were Helldivers 2, mainly because it's such a major jump from the first game. Like Dan and I have our own history with that game, the first game, and Henry too. But it was a top-down 4-player game, and this is completely transitioning to a third person over the shoulder.
I'm not gonna lie, I played Helldivers with you guys before, and I never had fun. I don't like twin stick shooters. I had fun hanging out with you guys, but I was like, fuck, I don't want to play this game. Let's play something else. And then we found Trine.
Yeah.
And we found Trine.
Yeah. But I'm excited to see what Arrowhead's done with Helldivers 2. That's gonna also, I think that one's gonna be a PlayStation exclusive. And then the only other game that some of these games were weird, and like they had Foam Stars, which was like a Splatoon. It was a Splatoon type. Like I'm just like, okay, and that was from Square Enix. I was like, okay, they are trying.
If this wasn't a PlayStation conference, if I just said, hey, here's a trailer for this game coming out, and I show you that same exact trailer, I don't tell you who's making it, wouldn't you say, oh, this is a Ubisoft game? That looked like that. I was like, that looked like the most Ubisoft fucking game I've ever seen in my life. And it was just like, and it's funny because like they showed the cinematic trailer first, and I was like, okay, this looks kind of interesting. They showed gameplay. It's like, wow, this looks really bad. Like this, and then
when it
horrible.
said Square Enix,
it looked just like Splatoon almost.
Wait, which game?
That's what everybody's saying.
Which game?
It's called
Foam Stars.
Oh, right, that's
Foam
stupid
Stars.
ass shit. Oh my god!
And it's Square, and if you notice, Square Enix has like one fucking bad game like a year. What was the one they had last year? Henry, you picked it in the fucking league. What was it called? The really bad one that you got low points. I can't remember what the fuck it was called. It was a Square Enix game. It played like shit. Nobody fucking liked it. It was this year's Rocket City. I'm right there with you. I have fucking Redfall, which is like 1 point less than what you got. I'm right fucking there with you.
Let me check real quick.
Fuck Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
But while he's looking that up, like
it's not Strange in Paradise.
I was also
what is it? Chocobo?
No,
not Chocobo.
What's
Babylon's
Henry's
Fall.
lowest? Babylon's Fall. That was last year's Square Enix shitty game.
Okay.
And the year before there was another one. They always have like one. It's like we're gonna hit you with some good games, but we're gonna throw some bullshit out there every year. Just give you that one game that's not gonna play well. Thank you, Babylon Fall. Thank you, Andrew.
And then what was else? Fair. Oh, it was Fair Games. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was the heist-based game. That was kind of like the first game they showed. It looked like it was 4-player co-op, but you're doing heists. It almost reminded me of a Payday. Yep. I think that's the name of it. Is graphics look great. The graphics look great on it.
Yeah, it's a cinematic trailer.
Heist
though.
games.
No gameplay.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, but like, I don't know. Heist games. The problem with that game is you're gonna need people, and if you don't have people, you're not gonna be able to play that game as the way you want to play it. Really,
that game's interesting. Not that I'm not gonna play it. I'm not gonna like it. It's a multiplayer game. I don't care. But for a couple of reasons, that's Haven. I think that's Haven's first game. It's a new studio purchased by PlayStation, and PlayStation's been trying to move into the live service gaming, where they know they fucking got first person action adventure storytelling, all that shit. They know they're the best, so they're trying to get into live service, and this is them in making that foray into it. That's why they picked up Bungie with Destiny. That's why Bungie has this marathon game that they showed too.
That's what I was gonna say.
But this is them showing it's like, okay, this is it. Now we see the next transition of PlayStation, where they're like, let's go after multiplayer games, and this is where we start with that.
Yeah. And then the last one I was gonna mention was Marathon, which was Bungie's next so as soon as I saw Marathon, like I saw the logo and I was like, that looks like the Marathon logo, and then it was Marathon. I was actually really dumbfounded. So like Marathon was actually Bungie's first game that they created for PC back in 1992. So what Halo became, what was supposed to be the evolution of Marathon, but it became something else. So they kind of just shelved the Marathon all this time and then continued on with Halo until Microsoft bought it, then moved on to Destiny. So for me, being a PvP shooter type person, seeing Marathon, it made so much sense on so many levels because we're already seeing the acquisition go start. It's going to happen now for Microsoft with Activision. So eventually, Call of Duty is going to be an exclusive on Xbox. Whether they want to say it is or they're not going to say it is or whatever it is, it's going to be an exclusive on Xbox. Or at least if it comes to that, Marathon gives another shooter to PlayStation in the event that they lose Call of Duty. And there's a huge fan base for Bungie. There's a huge fan base that still wishes that Bungie made Halo because Halo has been in the shitter ever since 343 took it over. So there's so much excitement as a shooter for me to see this game and to see the potential that it has going forward. Even though it's going to be on both platforms, I don't see it as a loss for Sony in the long run, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's everything I got.
Just go.
For me, I had a couple games.
My man gave
Henry
him
actually,
one.
Henry actually just Henry actually just mentioned the Final Fantasy, and that was actually one of the games that caught me. I've never actually played past 7, to be honest, but I saw this game and I was like, "Oh, what is that?" I kind of really like how the characters look. They kind of look demonic and fun looking, in my opinion. So I was like, kind of like looking like, "Oh, what is this game?" And then finally
game
got
looks
to the end,
great.
and it was like, "Oh, Final Fantasy," and I was like, "Oh, shoot, that they're doing things over there." So that kind of really piqued my interest, and
Let's fucking
so
go.
I really wanted to.
It's
June
giving me the finger.
22nd, I think they said is release date, so that's pretty close, right around the corner. So
Mhm.
I can't wait to hear about that. Granted, I'm not a PS guy, but if I did, I would definitely jump on that game. That seems like very much my type of.
Bro, you get the Project Q, you go fucking whiz around town, play that game anywhere you want. You're good.
Yeah,
Just connect to someone else's PlayStation.
Yeah,
and you're
connect
good
to somebody's PlayStation. You're good to go.
it's like, can I connect real quick?
go.
And another game that caught my interest, Resident Evil 4, the VR, mainly because I've actually played the other one. Uh, the I played it on Switch, but it's still pretty much the same. Um, One thing that I noticed in the VR was the gameplay, the mechanics. In the first original, the one of the things that held it back for me was the mechanics. Like you could only shoot, and when you're shooting, you can't move, so you're stationary, and you can only turn, and it's kind of very slow. And then if you want to use the knife, you have to press another button, and then you're stationary as well, and it's very awkward mechanics. Whereas when I was looking at this VR version, the dude had a gun and a knife, and he was going at the same time, and I was like, oh, that would kick up the game a next level. And so it's kind of actually really cool for me to see them remake the game and revamp it up, and it just looks like a lot more appetizing and digestible for this 2023 era of gaming. So that's a game that piqued my interest. I just want to mention that. So kudos to them. If I had a PS4, I would jump on that, see to do the compare and contrast.
I'll say seeing that game and a bunch of the other games they put out for VR made me more interested in buying a VR than the
You're
Project
fucking
Q.
crazy.
Like that was the one thing. What, huh?
You're fucking crazy. I didn't see anything there that was like, I gotta get this VR too.
No, but I'm saying if I were to look at comparative between the
Oh
hardware,
yeah, I'll give you that.
I'm
yeah.
like that's the thing. Like I was like I'd rather have the experience of those games and support that platform than put money into the Project Q.
I'm legit.
Go take
I'm
a
more
shit and play.
interested in their fucking earbuds than the Project Q, to be perfectly honest.
They look
But
bad,
no,
I'm
I
not
like.
gonna lie about it.
I'm right there with you, Disco. Like those games did look great. Final Fantasy 16, very much looking forward to it. Can't fucking wait. My only problem with this was just like I said it before we started recording. We already knew this was happening. We already knew the date was coming out. Like they just showed gameplay. I was like,
Yeah.
they didn't. I was hoping they would say like, hey, there's a demo available because they've been doing that with the Final Fantasy games past couple years. Like here's a fucking demo. Play it. Or Square Enix does that. Or like here's a demo before the game releases. They didn't announce anything, and it was just like, hey, the game already exists. And with Resident Evil, it's kind of just like they've been doing Resident Evil VR for like all the games the past couple years. So it's like it was cool to see it. Like what Disco's saying is perfectly accurate. Where it's like, yes, it looks great. It looks like it's better. It doesn't have like the old school tank controls, but at the same time, it's just like you could have showed this anywhere else. Like, this is a PlayStation showcase. You can show us a lot of shit. Like, we already know you're making a Resident Evil VR. Like, there's so many things that we already knew was happening. I was like, fuck, I was really hoping for surprises. That's why I really like Phantom Blade so much. That was new. That was a surprise. Everything else is like, it's cool. And Plucky Squire looks really cool. I like it.
Yeah, Plucky Squire was interesting. You went from like a 2D, like it seemed like a scroller, to like 3D to like you're switching up like the different gameplay and visuals and everything. It seemed interesting. Yeah.
One that appealed to me was the Dragon's Dogma 2. It was giving me like Elder Scrolls, like
I thought that was
RPG.
the next Elder Scroll games, honestly.
Yeah,
when they
and
first
that's what it
started.
felt like.
Because I
And
saw
even
one
the
of those like
spells and
cat
all the
people, and I was
magic
like, "Oh,
looked
that's
really-
the one Denzel was talking about."
It was a really
Look at
sad
G.
client.
Yeah, so I thought the graphics and that the whole magic and the dragons, all that looked really cool in that game. I could see myself playing that if I had the PS4 or PS anything. And lastly, I
Project
just want to
Q.
mention Gran Turismo. They snuck in a
God.
movie trailer. I was like, what is this? And then I was like, oh, okay, that makes perfect sense.
Oh, the movie. Yeah. I
Yeah.
was like, what the fuck is this? I thought
was
that was
so
a
annoyed.
commercial. I thought like I was looking for the skip ad button first.
When I
So
saw
annoyed at
live
that
action people, like when I saw a real person getting in the car, I was like, "This is Gran Turismo." That was like perfect opportunity. I'm gonna go take a piss. Like I just got up, walked away. I didn't watch that show. I was like, "What the fuck is that doing in here?" No, I'm going.
That was
No.
annoying. Yeah,
They try to casually slip it into, and then they
And that was the
followed
last thing
that up.
before Spider-Man, like
Yeah.
or before the
They
Project
followed-
Q
they
and
followed-
everything.
with the controller thing, and that was like, oh, they just slipped that in there.
Bro, it was.
But,
it was yeah.
I mean, honestly, Project Q could have been like a Wii U, or was it the Wii? Which one had a fucking screen on the controller?
I'm sorry. What was that?
Which Nintendo thing had a screen?
No, that was the Wii U. You're thinking about
Yeah.
the Wii U.
DS.
Yeah, why? Like fucking. That should have just been a new controller for the PlayStation. You have a screen on there. You can press some buttons. I don't know what the. It would have been way better than what the fuck they're doing with this shit. I'm so mad at that, bro. I'm so mad at this
I don't know.
stupid ass shit.
I want to go back to Dragon's Dogma because that's more fun to talk about.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
It looks great. Dragon's Dogma, the first one was supposed to be like this beloved RPG. So it's cool that they're making a part 2. Henry's in here just talking mad shit about Dragon's Dogma. This man shitting on it hard.
Wait,
I was like, hey man, I'm here. I heard it was cool.
This is what he says.
This man
No,
says the
yeah.
poor man Skyrim, then just started talking about how Skyrim is the poor man Skyrim. Like Henry,
Yeah.
stop drinking.
that's just funny.
But no,
That's perfect.
he's going in on Dragon's Dogma right now. But no, it looks interesting. I like RPGs, which Disco recently discovered. And
I mean, I used to play Elder Scrolls before. I just recently got back in.
no, I know. No, I'm just saying you recently discovered I'm into RPGs.
Oh,
I remember you said that
yeah.
last week. It was like, bro, I've loved art. I always talk about. We used to talk about Skyrim.
I didn't think you would like. What were we talking about? Diablo 4. I didn't think
Yeah.
you would like dungeon
Yeah.
crawlers like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's
I
coming
guess
out what
I'm
next
learning.
week or the week after?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Another game that I wanted to mention was the Arizona Sunshine 2. I really like the dialogue on that, and then the zombies and Fred. But
Fred.
it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun to
That-
just listen.
yeah,
I was
the
like,
first one
where's
came
this
out,
going?
yeah. The first one came out. I was like, man, this is where we're going with VR, huh? And then like, I was surprised there is a sequel. To be honest, like I did not think they were gonna. Make
I'm
it
sure
up.
there was a lot of dumb people that enjoyed that game.
No, I'd never heard anybody enjoy that game.
Damn, it's that bad.
Okay.
There was like 20
Sure
people
did.
that had VR. Me and the other 19 people agreed. Like we.
What are they trying to do here? That's fine. That's it for me, though. I think I'm pretty much done. My take on the showcase.
Dan froze a little bit. I was about to ask him. Oh, there you go. He's back.
Plucky Squire. That's
Okay.
that's what I mentioned earlier. That's all.
So you're gonna pick that up for the LWGF
I
VGO?
don't know. Why don't you mind your own fucking business and let's move on.
It's funny because I literally just dropped it last
As a matter of
week.
fact, let's talk about Alan Wake 2.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Alan Wake 2. That game's coming out this year. Fucking surprised to me. I didn't think it was coming out. That's why I counterpicked it. We were talking about this before the podcast started.
Yeah.
I was like, last time they announced the game exists, they put like a word or an image, Alan Wake, and it was somebody hiding in the shadows. It's like, there's no way in hell this game's fucking coming out. And here we are, has a fucking release date and everything. That video was playing. I was screaming fuck the entire time. I was pissed. I was pissed as all hell. I was like, fucking counterpick this game. I need to get deleted out of the year. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad. I just need to hope it sucks.
Yeah.
I
hope it's good.
Wait, I needed to go into 2023, but like, you know what? There's too much competition. Let's push it back. Maybe I pick it up next year. We'll see.
Well, I hope not. I hope it comes out. I hope you lose a lot of points.
Oh, well, fuck you.
I hope Spider-Man gets delayed into next year.
I agree.
And
I agree.
I hope Lies of P also gets delayed into next year.
I feel
But
you.
we'll find out.
We both hope Hades comes out.
I hope Hades is not coming out this year.
It's probably not. That was a good counter pick on your end.
There's no way that shit's coming out this year.
Yeah, that was good.
I should have picked Redfall. I should have picked a game I picked last year. That should have been my thing.
See, that's not even the thing. It's just like Redfall was just like it. Xbox believed in themselves; they needed to hit.
No.
And then that was
because I picked Lord of the Rings Gollum last year, and it didn't come out. It came out this year.
What's the score on that? What's the score?
43, bro.
That's really bad.
So after seeing that, if you ever pick up a game that I picked, I'm counter picking that shit. I'm just letting you know right now.
You dropped Lucky Squire, didn't you?
I did. See what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe because he dropped it, it might be good. We never know. Who knows?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But this motherfucker over here picked Rockay City.
He's not gonna let that go.
I was hoping. He's really not. Tell me how to fucking drop that shit. I'm still waiting.
You can't yet.
Who's in that game? Was it Christopher Walken? Who the fuck was it? It was
Christopher.
Yo, there's a million fucking people in that game. Chuck Norris is in that shit.
Yo,
I'm over here.
Rudy,
I'm like,
pick up
get
Lucky
this shit
Squire,
off my
yo.
list, and you're like, you can't do it.
Because Dan's gonna try to pick it up. Pick it up.
I don't know what I'm picking up.
I'm definitely making some moves.
Moves
this
have
week,
to
Yeah,
be
sure
done.
you
Moves
are.
have to be made.
That's hilarious.
This motherfucker stopped playing the game 4 months ago.
Yeah, for real. It's like Rockay City came out. He's like, fuck it, I give up. I'm done.
Wouldn't you? That game is like, I'm so upset.
No, I have like
Redfall's literally almost as bad.
Yeah,
and I Tears of the Kingdom has me in first place right now. So it's like, granted, there's still a lot of year left to go.
Speaking of Tears of the Kingdom, somebody, so Rusty and his friends did a league, and he picked up Tears of the Kingdom, and someone counterpicked it. And my God, bro,
that's the dumbest move ever.
Yeah,
why?
Why would they do that?
I don't know. Maybe they thought that shit was gonna be delayed and not come out.
Did they also pick up Rockay City?
No one picked up Rockay City on that league.
Nobody should.
I'm gonna drop
Rockay City.
You keep talking shit while I have it, but it's going away.
How?
Yeah,
You get the super drop, right?
Maybe it depends on if you're really far behind.
Yeah, that means you have to stay as you are while we all go up like another 30 points.
Oh, I thought we all get a super drop. We don't all get a super drop.
No, I don't. I think you have to be like really in the shit. You kind of have to be like how Henry was last year.
Yeah.
In order to get, and that's not a shot at you, Henry, but like that's the example. Like, I'm not trying to be funny, guys. I'm serious. But it was just like you were like, no, stop laughing, stop laughing.
Still to suck ass like Henry did.
I made a bad decision with Redfall, so I can't. Between Redfall.
See,
and
I can
fucking
laugh
Alan
because
Wake,
I make nothing but bad decisions. So fuck
this
it.
Is,
you know
I'm making every bad decision possible this year. So it's like,
and Henry's delusional. So I mean,
number one at what? Number one at what?
Picking bad games.
Oh man.
I mean, you're up there with Rudy at this point. All right, yeah.
Bash Henry for 20 minutes and then just keep going. That's how we end the podcast.
No, we're not over yet.
No,
you want to do your wrestling news?
I'm gonna do it really fast. Like I said, I'm gonna keep this under a few minutes.
I
don't have images, so I'm just gonna run through it real quick. That's the wrong Dan. We have the Double or Nothing pay-per-view.
Beautiful.
You didn't give me a chance.
You see how quick I am? Hey, what do you know? But we got the AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view coming up. We have the WWE Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia pay-per-view coming up. Or I'm sorry, premium live event. They don't do pay-per-views. But the big show's coming out, big things happening. One thing I want to talk about real quick is Tony Khan recently made an announcement. Hey, there's going to be another 2-hour show for AEW on Saturdays called AEW Collision. Rumors were that they were going to create a second show. There was the whole drama with CM Punk and the Elite. CM Punk wants to come back. They want to bring CM Punk back, but there's a lot of drama. They weren't sure if he was going to come or not. Yeah, so they're like, let's give him his own show, work with people who's willing to work with him and try to do that, which I don't know how that's going to work out in the end. This does not look good for AEW. I mean, they have great matches, they do great things, but there's a lot of drama around this whole CM Punk situation. As much as I like Punk, as much as I enjoy his matches, man's like one of my all time favorites. I don't know, man. It's a lot. Hopefully, everything gets resolved and everybody's happy. But that show is going to be starting up, I think, right after the Double or Nothing pay per view. They didn't when they first announced it. They didn't announce where the first episode was taking place because it was rumored to be Chicago, hometown of Punk. And then they were just like, we're going to reveal it. And then they kind of kept quiet. And supposedly the guy who got into the fight on CM Punk's side months ago, Ace Steel, was rehired and nobody knew about it. So a lot of people found out, it was like, this is the guy who fucking bit Kenny Omega. And now it's like you rehired him and didn't tell anybody. So people were pissed about that. They're like, we're going to fire him. Then CM Punk was pissed about that. So I was like, what the fuck do we do? So apparently he's working in a work from home capacity. He's not allowed to work or interact with anybody in the company. It's just a lot of weird fucking drama that's happening in this company right now, which is upsetting because 2 years ago, AEW they couldn't make any wrong decision. And now it's just like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. There's a lot of weird shit. Granted, the wrestling is still great. We're going to have an Anarchy in the Arena match between the Blackpool Combat Club and the Elite. That's going to be fucking phenomenal. We have a Four Pillars AEW World Heavyweight title match. That's going to be great. Like, they're doing a lot of great things, but their backstage shit it's too much drama, and this really needs to get resolved. So we'll see where we go from there. And real quick, not a wrestling thing, so end of Powerbomb Weekly, if that, and Mortal Kombat 1. That they did we talked about last week real quick. So get back to the video games. It came out. A lot of the rumors were true. The rumors that are out there now are the DLC packs as to who's going to show up in there. So far, we're hearing Takeda, who is in Mortal Kombat X, son of Kenshi, trained by Scorpion. We got supposedly what's his name, Homelander. That's the guy from fucking the show, right?
Yeah.
The show you guys like.
Yep,
So
Homelander,
supposedly
The Boys.
he's gonna, the guy from the Boys. He's supposedly gonna be in the show, as well as the Omni Man from Invincible. And then the other rumor that was going around for a while, they haven't been mentioning it much lately, was Peacemaker from Peacemaker or DC, that they're going to be DLC characters in there. So we're still waiting to hear confirmation on those things, but these are the same sources that leaked everything else that was correct. So very much looking forward to that. Also, if you pay close attention to the trailer, Scorpion and Sub-Zero wearing the same outfits, and they both have Lin Kuei symbols. They might be from the same clan this time.
They look like twins.
Yeah,
they look like they had the same face. Yeah,
and their outfits were almost exactly the same. Like I said, they have the Lin Kuei symbol, which is Sub-Zero's clan, and this is a whole new take, a whole new reboot on the storyline. So we'll see where that goes from there. I found that interesting.
It'd be interesting. Well, he was saying either fight his enemies or fight his brothers, and that's when they stood side to side.
And there's also going to be cameo fighters, where it's like assist fighters, where some characters are going to be exclusive to that, where they're assist fighters as opposed to fighting characters. And Jean-Claude Van Damme is going to be a skin for Johnny Cage, which makes perfect sense because Johnny Cage was originally based off of Jean-Claude Van Damme, who was supposed to be in the original game. So they finally got him after all these years.
Cool. Yep. Disco.
All right, let me share my screen. I have two movies for y'all today and Disco's reviews. I'm going to start with the better one today. I happened to fall upon this movie this past week, and it's about AI, and it just blew me away. The premise is pretty much this guy creates an AI that pretends to be a little girl in chat rooms to catch pedophiles. Predators. Yeah. So this AI that he makes, is really good at its job, and it catches the attention of the authorities, and pretty much it unfolds that this dude made an AI, but the way they tell the story and the way they break it up into kind of 3 different chapters and different timelines of the story, it turned out to be like quite the amazing movie. I thought it was going to be cheesy, like how kind of you hear out AI movies, it's like, oh, the AI became advanced, super intelligent, then he just tried to kill humans. Like, I felt like that was like the typical AI movie nowadays, where this one kind of took a turn I didn't expect, and I really enjoyed the emotion and the just the progression of the characters throughout the movie as well. You see like the point 0 that where everything started, and then point 2 is like they progressed a little, like maybe 10 years later, and then part 3 is when they're like really old, and you really get to see um, the progression of this AI. And I thought it was very quality story writing, screenplay writing, and the actors did very well. The movie got a 6.5 on IMDb, so if anyone's familiar with my IMDb scale, it is a pretty good movie on the scale, and it turned out to be uh, definitely worth the watch. I'm giving this one 2 thumbs up. If you got the time, for sure go check it out. It's you can find it on Amazon. You can rent it for like $5 or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, well worth the $5. I recommend going to watch it. Definitely, if you like kind of AI, especially since it's relevant to our being, like our current timeline, our current existence. AI is kind of thriving and becoming kind of like this entity. um, so definitely check this out, because this could be a possibility of where we're going.
A quick, just a quick note on the subject. I just watched this podcast where this guy was interviewing this ethical hacker, and what he does is he pretty much goes after predators as well. He goes into like chat rooms, pretends to be a young girl, and gets these people's IPs, address, and informations. He took down this website and this, I think, this senator who was running this pedophile website, and yeah, he has a crazy story. It's really cool. Um, does God's work, you know what I'm saying? But it's just crazy how he was explaining how like hackers and stuff can literally take your informations in seconds, and like there's not much you can really do. Like there's some things that you can do to protect yourself, but like there's not much you can do than going completely off the grid to be 100% protected. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of scary, but it was also, I mean, it was very cool that he's using his skills to do some good in this world. So you spoke about predators, that came into my mind. Very cool.
Yeah, it's amazing how much power, man. Like in a blink of eye, they can
Yeah.
take your identity. It just reminds
Yeah.
me of the Office, where it's like identity theft isn't a joke.
Oh yeah.
But no, yeah. Back to the movie, definitely check it out. This one
Yeah.
I would give 3 thumbs up. I highly recommend it. I thoroughly enjoyed it,
Use
and
the
I think
kielbasa.
y'all will too. I ate it. I
Okay,
already,
never mind.
stuck it in my mouth,
All right.
swallowed it, had all types of fun. Let me move on to my next movie. Artifice
I don't know
Girl.
where I don't know where this podcast is
I
going.
mean, that's where it started. We're talking about what was going on in my mouth when we started earlier today.
Artifice Girl, fantastic. All right, let me pull up the next
There
one.
was a pun.
The next one, I saw this
Montreal was
movie
better.
and I was just let
Where do you
down.
Oh
find
no,
the
you
where
watched
where
it.
do you find the smallest pictures on the
You really
internet?
do find the smallest images
I
possible.
honestly searched it and I could not find a picture of this new this movie, because it was so trash.
Can you
So
do
this
me a
is the
favor,
best one.
Disco? If you could have a running gag where you just find smaller and smaller images
Yeah,
every
like,
week.
it's
Zoom in,
literally
it's
every
like 1
time.
pixel.
It's just so small, and you got to zoom in so far. It's hilarious. But
But so I saw White Man Can't Jump, and it
I
was
was honestly about to text you guys at some point. I saw it come up on Hulu. I was like, "Hey, do you guys want to watch this?"
don't
And
watch it.
I love the original, so it's
yeah,
like I can't imagine.
I mean, look who's in the original. Come on,
Oh yeah,
like
and
it's-
Rosie Perez.
Yeah,
I love
Oh
Rosie.
man, yeah, I love
hate her
man,
voice, but yeah,
That's the whole point. That's
Yeah.
the
I
whole
love her
point.
as a character, like that whole
Yeah.
like Puerto Rican New Yorker. Just I
Yep.
love that. Even when she was in Your Honor, she still kind of had that Rosie Perez feel to her. I was like, okay. Anyway,
Damn it, Billy.
Yeah, she was in that DC movie, the Birds of Prey. She was like a cop or
Oh,
some
she
shit,
was.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was like, it was still like,
uh,
nah, you're that same chick from White Man Can't Jump. I know you. You became a cop.
but this movie was nothing like the original. It was trash, and I'm not gonna lie. I thought this guy was Dwayne Wade for like half the movie.
Oh my gosh.
Bro.
I was watching this movie and I was like,
You ever
this
seen
is
Dwayne
not.
Wade? Have you ever seen him?
Dwayne Wade's gonna get you canceled.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ, Dan.
okay, it's okay if it happens. I had my shine. But this movie was just regardless, it is not good. Jack Harlow, I think he was the best
The
part about
rapper?
it, but even at that, it was
Yeah,
not
that's him.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Jack
Oh,
Harlow.
Jesus Christ. Now I
So-
don't want to watch it even more.
Jack Harlow and Dwayne Wade.
They couldn't just put.
That's
they
a
couldn't
wh't
just
other
put some
movie.
random.
How the
You know
what the
what?
fuck-
Couldn't put a random.
It's
ass
White Man
white boy
Can't
in.
Jump, so I was like, oh, they got a basketball player. Makes sense. but it turns out it was not Dwayne Wade. But overall,
I mean, they didn't get a basketball player for the first movie. Why
Yeah, I
would-
was like, why would they do it for this one?
I felt like that joke with the Sixth Sense was like you find out at the end that was Bruce Willis. I was like, wait a minute, this isn't Dwayne Wade.
From It's Always
You
Sunny in
found out it
Philadelphia. That's
wasn't
not the
Dwayne
twist.
Wade.
That's not the twist.
Oh, fuck. That's so
But-
funny.
No, this movie was just not good. The pacing was everything about it was kind of just not interesting. It landed flat. You can't compete with Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes here. They just had the chemistry, and for back in the day, the way they portrayed everything, it was a banger, man. And this one, I felt like Jack Harlow was trying to be woke and progressive, and I don't know, it just did not carry the same weight. It was.
I mean,
was-
they're gonna learn eventually that like these super woke movies are not gonna be successful.
Yeah. I feel
They
like
should just never have called it White Man Can't Jump. Like
It could've
the
been
thing
anything
is,
else.
like Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson were still up and coming in their careers when they made this
Rosie
movie, so
Preston.
they were, they were starting their stardom. Jack Harlow and I don't even know who
Not
that other
Dwayne
guy.
Wade.
Inqua Walls.
Inqua Wallace. No,
Inqua
the only
Walls.
reason I considered watching this mainly because if you watch the trailer for it, there's so many scenes in the movie that are from the original movie. So that's the only reason. This movie should never have been called White Man Can't Jump, though. There's just certain movies you shouldn't touch.
Well, they're running out of shit to do, so they're just remaking everything.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Like, well, now what is it? The expectation that a lot of people are saying is that Chat GPT is going to help people write brand new
Well,
script
because of the
ideas.
whole
So now
writer's
there won't.
strike, yeah.
Exactly. So there won't. It should
Well,
be.
part of
different
the
ideas
writer's
that
strike
AI
is they
make.
want to ban AI in script writing, and the company said no.
Which it kind of is bullshit because that man is one of the greatest shooting guards in Philadelphia 76ers history.
man, this movie was trash. Don't watch it. That shit got a -2 thumbs up. That's not Dwayne
You're
Wade.
just
I felt
mad
let
it
down.
wasn't Dwayne Wade. That's why I think it's so bad.
I just imagine like halfway through
He's
the
so
movie, he just
disappointed.
sat there and was like, "That's not Dwayne Wade."
Yo, it's the first.
No, he didn't notice till the credits started rolling. He started reading the names.
IMDb
Dwayne
said
Wade?
it's a 4.6, and I agree it was trash. It was a very low on the IMDb ranking. It's you just can't top Wesley and Woody Harrelson. Well,
Let's end this episode. Final thoughts. Make them quick.
I'll go first because actually I gotta head out in like a little bit. It's I gotta go pick up one of my customers. I just want to say that I passed all my classes for this semester, so I'm super happy, super thrilled.
Congrats,
Uh,
boss.
And also, I'm enjoying my new apartment, the freedom and the luxuries of just having my own space. And
Nice.
it feels
Congrats.
nice to have the podcast too, to share it with all my peoples and people that matter the most to me. So I love y'all. Thank you for tuning in, checking us out every week, and Henry for always tuning in, even though he's got that new work schedule. It always brings a smile to my face when hen dogs over there asking for a birthday shout out. Especially Rudy too jumps in the chat and his brother. Just a super loving mood. Thank y'all for supporting me and all the people that said I couldn't make it here. Nah, I was just trying to say that.
Just don't let people go in there and take out your trash for you. Don't let them break in and do that.
Yeah.
I,
And watch
I'm
out for
good.
the backflip inspector.
Oh fuck.
Dan, final thoughts.
Yeah, no. Real quick, congrats to the Disco. I know that getting your own apartment's like the greatest feel. We've all got to experience that.
Yeah.
So you're right there too. So congrats. It's a great thing.
It really is.
What's it called? Real quick, bring it back to the gaming side. Summer Game Fest is upon us. E3 season is upon us. Summer Game Mess and Summer of
E3's
Gaming.
canceled, bro.
It's E3 season, sir. E3 season lives
It's
on,
Summer Game Fest season now.
which is E3 season. It's literally
whatever,
the same season.
whatever. E3 got canceled. Don't give them
Summer of
props.
Gaming is what IGN calls it. All right, so
Okay.
Summer of fucking Gaming
Let's
is
do that.
happening.
Yes, Summer of Gaming.
And it's happening. I'm very much looking forward to this. We're getting a little bit back to the way it was before COVID hit. Not exactly, but we're getting there. We got a PlayStation showcase. We got the what the fuck it's called, the Summer Game Fest Jeff Keighley thing that's going up the opening night or whatever the fuck it is. We got the Xbox one coming up with Bethesda. I think there's a Ubisoft for it. That's probably not going to be too great, but we'll see. Can't wait to look see what's happening in the world of gaming. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I hope Lies of P gets delayed. Rudy, what's your final thoughts?
Last P. No, I mean, like, it was just like I said, I don't see why everybody's so upset about the showcase. Like, if you want to be upset right now, that PlayStation is going to come with bangers. You're not happy right now, just wait, just chill. They're going to come out with
more and new. That's all we want to do.
Henry, your final thoughts are Diablo 4 is coming out in 2 weeks, and we should make a clan. Yes, we should.
I'm
Will I be
totally
able
on
to
board.
What the fuck else up while you're playing this game?
Would I be able to play this game on the current consoles that I have? Because if not, then I will not be able to make a clan with you.
Fairly certain the answer is yes.
Then I will be able to make a clan with you.
What's
Sounds
called my
good.
one friend from work. He's really excited. I don't know anybody more excited than him. So if we do a clan, I might let him know about it.
I
Sounds
played
good.
3
Walter,
and I really
let us know if
enjoyed
you
it.
want to join
so
us too.
I'm pretty excited too. I'm down to get it like right when it comes out.
And Rudy, even though it's you can play.
Appreciate that.
Oh shit.
Are you
We
playing?
love you, Rudy.
Are you
We
playing
love
again,
you.
Diablo 4, Rudy?
I don't know. I got to do more research on it. Josh seems
The
interested.
open
so if you
beta,
want, I'll throw
yeah,
him
the
your
open
way.
beta was pretty damn good.
Successful, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, my final thoughts. Honestly, I had one and I forgot because I got Alzheimer's.
What else is new? You know.
Fuck, exactly. I'm upset I can't remember, but that's my life. All right.
I wish
probably
you
a good
ended
one,
it
too.
right there. That's my life. All right.
That's my life.
Deuces.
No sign off.
Thank you
the
for
mic.
listening to the Los Wise Guys podcast. If you like what you heard, don't forget to follow us on our social medias. Like, subscribe, share, rate, and review. Comment below. Let us know what you think about this showcase. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Go check out the Los Wise Guys website, loswiseguys.com. Thank you for listening. Have a great week.